Another company that you wrote about this week that we wish would make a high-end Chromebook.
LG.
And maybe it'll come after the Dragonfly. Like maybe the Dragonfly will come, the market will accept it.
We're at LG.
Yeah, LG Graham.
But HP needs to make a gaming Chromebook too. They've stayed out of that fight thus
Let's
far.
get open.
But whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, Acer. It's time for Acer to make a high-end Chromebook. And some people may hear that and be like, "Wait, they have the 713, 714."
Right. Those are nice.
I would call those mid-high.
Yeah, they're nice.
Like they haven't swung yet.
But
No.
but
They've not
have
made a
you
swing for the
seen
fences yet.
their premium
And a
Windows
lot of people
devices?
haven't.
And
They're so
that's
dope.
what I was writing a deal article or something the other day, and I referenced ultra premium, and my idea of ultra premium has changed a lot in just the last 12 months because 2 years ago, the Best Buy models that were like the consumer facing Core i3, Core i5s, to me that was ultra premium because that was kind of where the market was unless you were buying enterprise. I'm with you. That's middle of the road now. That's solid, consistent, good device that I can recommend to people. But if you want ultra premium, you need to go Pro or a Swift that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
It's going to be, it'd be high end, $1,000 kind of range, and Acer hasn't even come close to doing that. The 713, the original 713, had a config that was close to $1,000.
Yeah.
And Gabe did the poll, and we collected some data, and $800 seems to be the spot where most people are comfortable with a high end Chromebook.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. I think that's a little bit on the low side. When you start thinking about materials that you would need to make a premium, because we're not talking about just a nice Chromebook. We're talking about like a premium Chromebook, because you get a premium Windows laptop and they're $2,000. I mean, look at Samsung's we talked about last week. The Galaxy Book 3
Ultra Pro.
When you put all of those components together, it just costs money.
Yeah.
Never mind all the R&D that goes into. Have you ever opened up a laptop and looked at the motherboard and what the foresight that has to go into creating something like that is mind-boggling to me. Like, it's not like you can just off the shelf grab stuff and put it together like Legos. It's like you have to start with this chassis and then think, okay, how do you fit that thing in this chassis? And okay, well, that motherboard work with this, and like that.
You got thermal dispersion and all sorts of stuff.
It's just nuts.
Especially when you start talking about
it.
these super thin and light
Right.
devices.
Yeah. Well, because if it's going to be expensive, it can't be chunky. It's got to be super thin. Okay, well, it's got to be super thin and super light and super fast and super, Okay, well, all that stuff costs money. So there's R&D and there's work and all the people you got to pay to build the thing to make it, and 3D rendering and design and figure out how to make it all work and fit and test and do all that. And then think about the components you're asking to put in these devices. And so, these $2,000 to $3,000 Windows laptops that all of a sudden people want that same hardware in a Chromebook, because it doesn't run Windows.
Right.
It's like, that doesn't make any sense. The value proposition we've talked about 100 times makes sense. I get, why would I want to buy something that expensive if I can't do XYZ on it?
Right.
No arguments there. But $1,000 doesn't really get you a ton when you start talking nicer components in a Windows or a MacBook type situation. $1,000 in a Chromebook, we expect everything, right?
Yeah.
We expect the moon
gotta have
and
it
the
all.
stars,
Yeah.
and so it's a weird conundrum for people.
And
to
that's
be in
the poll
for
kind of
manufacturers.
proved itself out as to what I thought the view of a good majority of the general public still, because there were quite a few comments on Twitter saying, well, why would you pay that much for something that just runs a browser or can't install apps on or this or that? That's still a general consensus for a lot of people.
Right.
And that's going to be Google's uphill battle to prove to people that it's so much
That's
more
not
than
the
that.
case. Yeah, and they have to. I mean, from what we understand, that's kind of the goal this year is to remove a lot of those hurdles that are removable now.
Yeah.
They are.
HP's taking a big swing with the Dragonfly because they believe that the market's ready for that, whether they know it or not.
Yeah, and so like
I found another way to bring up this.
it'll prove, I think, the whole thing one way or the other. It's either going to not go well, and we're $600 or $700 or $800 Chromebooks, or that's it. And that's what the market's going to do for another few years.
Move up,
or people are going to be like, "Oh, this is really awesome," and I hope they stick with it. I hope they stay true to the device as a whole, and make sure to kind of see it through and provide good support for it and stuff, because it took the Pixelbook, and granted this was years ago, but it took the Pixelbook months before people were like, damn, this thing's good. Like, I love this thing. Like, journalists, reporters, people in creative spaces going, I was resistant to it, but I started using it. I'm like,
yeah, how many? Why I returned to my Pixelbook, or why I'm only using the Pixelbook. Yeah, it's really good.
And so, like, I think HP has the ability to do that now, 10x at this point. I think there's enough people now that do rely on Chromebooks 100%, you know, that or do rely on them enough to sink some extra cash into a device that's nicer and it feels better and it's more comfortable to use. And so all of those things play out. Well, here's Acer over here that's never tried. And to be fair, I don't know if they've even tried an enterprise, have they?
Their enterprise devices have
I feel
just
like Asus took their swing with the CX9 in enterprise. To me, that's not taking a swing. That's you know, what HP's doing is taking a swing. What Samsung did with the Galaxy Chromebook, that was taking a swing. Making a $2,000 Chromebook's a Dell kind of move. Like, we're going to make it, and we'll build it when somebody orders it, and that's it. And we'll never sell it anywhere. We'll never market it. No one ever know it exists outside of those guys at Chrome Unbox, you know. And that's,
go watch our one video we did about it 2 years ago.
And it's frustrating, you know, trying to talk about them because people are like, well, that's just for, you know, people in suits and, you know, in corporate offices and stuff that have the money to just spend random amounts of money on a computer they can hand out to their people. And that's where high-end Chromebooks have been for a few years now. At post Pixelbook, Pixelbook Go, Samsung.
Yeah,
you know, that's it. Like, when we saw a big push, it felt like last year and end of the year before, it was like, oh, we know all these big Chromebooks are coming. They were all enterprise. It was all enterprise focused. You couldn't get your hands on them. It was so frustrating.
I mean, the Elite Dragonfly we were so excited about, and yes, a consumer can buy it, but even right now, even with a discount, the cheapest you can get one's $900.
Right.
And it's it's a great device, but it's still $900. Retails for like $14.
Well, and you're asking people to buy stuff sight unseen too. Like, you can't go to Best Buy and look at it and be like, oh my
feel
God,
it.
this thing's gorgeous.
Oh yeah, this is nice.
This new one
that right there makes it not a consumer device.
It's
a
not.
Consumer device is something that people can see in the wild.
Go look at it and see it, you know, and know that, okay, well, I realize I'm spending my money on something that feels premium quality. And so, you know, Acer, Lenovo has done a couple enterprise ones that are bigger swings, but that they haven't really taken a big swing. I don't know, what is their
that C14's their enterprise. The Yoga,
their consumer line that like their high end Yogas look like this year's model is amazing looking. Or they got that split screen one we saw at CES, you know, like stuff like that. They've not tried that, obviously, with Chromebooks.
And that's the thing. They did the Lenovo Yoga C630 back in the day.
Yeah, I thought they were going to start going down that road.
It's like, it's time for them to do that.
That was the only Yoga, right?
Yeah, well, they have Yoga Chromebooks that are EDU devices.
Well, and they've got the Idea Pad, so that the blue one, the navy blue one.
One of them is a Yoga.
Oh, that's right.
It's like a C13 Yoga or something like
anything
that.
that converts for them, they slap Yoga on. But I'm talking like the consumer Yoga.
Yeah, they're nicer ones.
So remember, we thought Peabody was coming.
It was totally a thing, and then it just got scrapped. That's what that thing is now.
Yep.
That Peabody that we talked about years ago, it was a dual screen Chromebook, like that was in the works, and a digital keyboard at the bottom. Didn't work out.
Yeah.
But Acer, you know, is among the groups that hasn't tried at all. I don't think, and they have it. Like, they've got the hardware, the ability, the scale. We've messed with them multiple years. It's not just one
devices.
What was the new one? The Swift 7?
I don't think they put
a
name on it. It's just this new
Swift.
Acer Swift. And so that they're, instead of doing a 357 like they do kind of with Chromebooks, like those models, it's like Swift Go, Swift
14, and then a 14X.
X. Yeah.
Well, the one that our CES,
I looked at it again.
Yeah.
We messed with the Swift 14.
The nicest. Like
because the X one it's a thicker device and it's got a big honking GPU.
Yeah, you get a big
something
GPU
in it.
Yeah.
This one is like
the nice consumer, like normal one.
Felt like it weighed this much.
It was insane. So we they had a big, huge booth when we first walked in. I was like, oh, this is nice. Like, what the heck?
Yeah.
And then they did the same thing they did last year.
Oh yeah, same.
They were like, oh, you guys come over here, and we walk into this side room that's this big it's
like a ballroom,
much larger room than it needed to be. Right,
fit their stuff in here.
Social media team sitting at the table doing stuff.
Yeah, it was just a press type room, but the press people are in there working. It was fine. I'm not dogging on it, but it was just not. It was a little strange, but they did have the Swift PCs over on the side. So we're filming the 24 add-in one. we're filming the Vero EDU devices out now. We were looking at some of the other EDU devices. And then I'm over there filming, trying to get B-roll of this add-in one, which was strange because the lighting was weird, whatever. And Robbie's like, hey, as soon as you're done, come look at this thing.
Go look at this
Robbie's over there just playing with this little paper-thin laptop. And
so nice.
The screen on that thing was
big, huge
saucy.
OLED,
and
gorgeous screen.
Wow.
Fantastic trackpad.
I don't know. What's the price
keyboard.
on that guy? I wonder.
I don't know. I think they're like a $1,200.
I was at 12 or 14.
Kind of
yeah.
thing. But it's their premium end, and for a little while, Acer was back and forth on their premium laptops, like because they had Aspire was their like entry level. I think it still is. They had Swift, but then they had one other.
They have a Travel Mate, but they have
some other laptop brand. I don't remember what
Aspire.
it was.
No, Aspire.
Aspire.
Yeah, I thought that was always their lower end.
Yeah.
Maybe.
What was the like creator brand?
Oh, that's
Concept D or whatever.
Yeah, Concept D.
Yeah.
That's
a different thing. But
that's
I know what you're talking about. I can't think of the name.
I feel like
of it.
they had two higher end brands, but it's Swift now. Like that's their thing, and these laptops are just, gosh, they're just gorgeous. I mean, it's like you all have the hardware. You have it.
Yeah.
It's right there. Just make a spec with a Chromebook.
We're just gonna start putting Chrome OS on these and just show them. Just show them off. Look at this.
Let's just put Flex on it.
I mean,
and
that's
see
what
happens.
a friend of mine bought a Samsung laptop at Christmas because he needed something just for a specific Windows application because he's usually a Mac guy. But he said it's like a $900,000 Samsung. I don't know which one it is, but
he said $900,000.
$900,000
or $8,000.
Every keycap is diamond.
But it's
a sapphire trackpad.
It's a 12th gen Core i5. It's pretty standard.
It's gold plated.
A256, but it's sleek, dark metal, and just the fit and finish. He said he got it for like a little over $500. I'm like, every Chromebook manufacturer should be making something like that.
Yeah, I mean, they have the ability to do it.
Absolutely.
Like, they do. It's just choosing whether or not to do it. And again, for them, I get it. Like manufacturers, anybody listening to this that's like, well, I'm in charge of the Chromebook team at such and such. Like, look, we get it.
Suck. No, I'm just kidding.
No, we totally get it. Like, totally get, like, when you're looking at that value proposition for the manufacturer, they're looking at it and going, if we dump this money into this thing, we're going to have to sell it at this price in order to make our profit because they're a business. That's what they got to do. And so when they look at that price, whatever that price is, they have to decide, if we put this out here at that price, is anyone actually going to buy it?
Yep.
And so that part's on Google to help these manufacturers get that stuff aligned. And I feel like that's the goal this year.
That's where they're at.
To clean that stuff up so that it's clear, hey, it's okay if you want to go make that.
In some of it, I mean, some of it is awareness, right? Like just showing people what it's capable of, but some of it's kind of marketing too. Like Chrome OS has gotten this bad rap, and I mean, people still say it's just a browser. It's like some of the comments on Twitter, and why is it that some of these luxury brands can charge what they charge for some of these? Balenciaga, whatever. Well, they've marketed it in such a way, and people want to pay that because they've created a certain understanding around this product that people want it. And so, I think just reinforcing, like getting it in people's hands, like showing people that you can do these things, but then also like a little bit of marketing and,
and
like
I think that's
creating a message that isn't it's just a browser.
Yeah, and I agree with Robbie. I think that's where they're at with the manufacturers because for the last few years, it's been, Chrome OS marketing has all been kind of like taking digs at the other operating systems and fun, lighthearted stuff, which is good. People need to know that stuff. They need to know it's secure. They need to know it's lightweight, it's safe. It's all they need to know all that. But now that foundation has been built, it needs to be, hey, this is a viable, formidable option in the PC space. Yeah. And like it's legitimate, and you need to consider it.
Right.
It'd be fun for... I never loved the Surface commercials that were kind of like this, but maybe an idea could be like almost like case study type thing, right? Where it's like, I'm so-and-so, and I use a Chromebook to get my such and such job done. Yeah. I'm so-and-so. I use my Chromebook to get such a job. Right. Do you remember the Surface ones where I'm talking about where the one that I always remember is like the lady was like totally pushing overwork culture. She's like, I work 80 hours a week and I blah, blah, blah. People online were like, cool. Like, that's not cool anymore. Like, that sucks. That sounds miserable.
If I buy a Surface, is that going to happen to me?
But it was like, I'm a movie director and I use the Surface to get blah, blah, done.
Yeah.
We should just do that. We'll just make those videos.
Yeah,
All
make our own commercials.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Thanks so much for watching this clip of the Chromecast podcast. This is just a little segment of the full show. If you want to watch the whole thing, it's down in the show notes or in the description. Or yeah, I guess it would just be description. You're watching on YouTube.
Down there,
just
somewhere.
down there. Just go look for a link that says full episode. You'll find it. But if you like this content, make sure to give us a thumbs up. Go down there and click subscribe, and make sure to click the notification bell over on the right side so that you get an alert when we put out future clips just like this one. But that's it for this one. We'll catch you all in the next one. Bye bye.